Unity Catalog centralizes all metadata, ensuring that user data definitions are centralized across the organizations. Welcome to day 9 Databricks series. When we talk about across controls, user management, metastore, this means that marketing, customer service and product development teams all have access to a single consistent source of truth for user data. By providing a unified view of all data assets, Unity Catalog makes it easier for teams to access the information they need without having to navigate through multiple systems. Here you can see typical Databricks setups is required. For example, the marketing team can easily access support interaction data, and the product development team can view user engagement metrics, all from a single platform. Here you can see this is gonna solve the problem: centralized governance, unified features, access control, lineage, discovery, monitoring, delta sharing and metadata management. So I'm going to perform this hands-on one by one in order to get this output: how to create metadata, how to create Unity Catalog and how to perform others part. Let's go here. For this team, for this purpose, I have login in my Azure portal. Here you can see this is my default directory. I'm not having admin portal. So why I'm going to use admin portal? I'm going to switch my default directory which will have my admin access. So I'm just login to different login portal. If you click here and go to home one more time, can you see this symbol is entirely different from this others, which means they might be some users, they might not have admin portal, but this 𝐔𝐬𝐥𝐵 _gmail.com extension is having .on Microsoft kind of email ID. So I'm going to log in here. So just performing this operation, I'm going to close this tab and just log in with new create Databricks. I'm creating this new create Databricks, and along with this I'm going to create with this admin portal a new storage. Let's pause the video. Meanwhile, it's going to create. Alright, you can see my Databricks having this resource which is ready to move, and inside this resource I can click to go to resource, and when I clicking test connection, which is the part of data storage ADLS Gen2, I have created this resource using hierarchy namespace. Now I am clicking on this go to resource. In this deltadbstg 𝐶𝐬𝐿, I just created this container. Inside this container I have this test container, and then I'm going to create one directory here. So when I clicking this test here, I just created a files directory. Inside this file I can upload any CSV file. Now go back to Databricks notebook. Here I can launch workspace. Inside this will launch in a new tab, and I can use this same login. This is admin portal, so I can use my main portal here. So this will allow me to use Microsoft Entra ID, and meanwhile I can create something else. So I'm going to click on home. Using home option, what I have done till now, I just step 1 created Databricks workspace ADLS Gen2, and now I just created ADLS Gen2 and workspace for Databricks. Now I'm going to create access connector for my Databricks. So here I'll search for access connectors for Azure Databricks. First option is showing here. Click on it. You can see this is already showing some Unity Catalog, but I'll have to create a new one. So I'm going to select my resource group and going to provide access controller 𝐷𝐷𝐻𝑒𝑛, so that I can understand that this is my access controller. And in the same region, go to the next. I'm not gonna change. You need not to change anything here. Review and create, it will be created. Can you see this Databricks is ready to move? And if you go down, you cannot see anything here. If you go down, you can see this is showing manage account, which means you are in admin role. If it is not admin role or admin part, you cannot see this value. This won't be there, manage account. And it's very crucial point that this must reflect in your Databricks workspace. Now here you can see I just created access controller 𝐷𝐻𝑒𝑛. Go back to my access controller. Here you can see resource ID is showing here. I can copy this resource ID and can use this resource ID while creating metastore. Now in the third step 3, what I have created ADLS Gen2 delta storage and then test. Inside this test files is directory, and then I'll have one direct CSV file here. Now I'm supposed to give access to this access container to ADLS Gen2. Go to ADLS access control IAM. So I'm going to click on this ADLS Gen2. Go to resource. Inside this resource, I'll have to search for access IAM. From left pane, click to add, click to role assignment. Inside this role assignment, search for storage blob data contributor. So I'm going to search storage blob data contributor, and then click on next. Select manage identity, click on select members, and you can see this manage entity showing access connector for Azure Databricks. So I'm going to select my name, access connector 𝐷𝐻𝑒𝑛, which we just created right now, and select provide this review and assign, provide this role. Now using this managed identity, our Unity catalog or metastore can access this particular storage account. And the reason we are doing is we need to have a container where that is going to be accessed by the Unity catalog to store its managed table, and we will see that in upcoming session. Okay, now what's the step number 4? Here you can see to use Unity catalog following our previous step, you must have premium workspace. Maybe you may have some free or free portal, or which is 1 month free here, or any non-premium workspace. So that's a prerequisite. You must have that step. Configure metastore, attach premium metastore, and in case this is not available, you can go back here. This will enable your manage account if this is not showing in your portal. Okay, now secondary, you are supposed to click on this manage account and Databricks name from your catalog. I'm going to click here and click on manage catalog. Here you can see just log in from the same primary account. In this primary account, I can see under this name, I can see some name is there. Okay, so from this catalog, you are supposed to create a metastore provided name is metastore, right? So what I'll have to do, I'll have to create a catalog, and I'm supposed to create a metastore here. So create metastore, click on metastore, give some name. For example, I'm giving a name metastore 𝐷𝐻𝑒𝑛. This would be name for my region. So I'm going to create East US. If East US is already there, you will have to delete that catalog. Can you see this is already there? Okay, so I'm going to click this one and click, because you can create only one metastore in a single region. So you can delete it by by copy this name and just delete this meta store so that you can create a new one in the same region. Now it's created. Now you are supposed to create this one. Just create this meta store and select East US and just provide this ADLS Gen2. So what's the path here? The path would be same as we had given here. So first it will select my container. What is the name of container? Test is my container name. Then what is my storage account? So I'm going to select this storage account. Just this is deltadbstg. If you click here, this is the name, deltadbstg and Sachin. Copy this one, replace this part before dot and dfs core.windows.not and then your directory name, which is files. Now what is the access connector? If you want to access this connector, go to your resource here and you can copy this resource ID and inside this account you can paste it here. Now you can see advanced options also there. You need not to change anything here, just create this meta store. This meanwhile this part is being connecting. You can assign to role. You are supposed to assign to your Databricks Sachin. This is running condition. You can assign. Okay, enable catalog. Yes, you are gonna assign it. Congratulations, you have assigned your meta store Sachin to your workspaces, right? Now you can see other part as well. What we have to do in step number 5, create required user simulate real-time environment. We just have to create 2 profiles. First is the admin, second is the developers. So I'm going to create two users. So for this I'll have to click on this portal, main portal, primary portal, click on Microsoft Entra ID. Inside this I'm going to click on user, create new user. So you just have to provide principal name. So I'm going to provide admin underscore development, admin underscore testing. So I'm going to copy this admin's test and name display as the same. I'm going to keep custom password, not the inbuilt password. So what would be the password here? Let's save it somewhere and you can go with the next property. I'm not gonna change any property here. Review and create. Okay, in the same way you just create a new user, provide this admin test to developer test. Okay, this would be your developer team and I'm going to copy this principal name. Second user will have the developer test and I'm going to provide same custom password here and not gonna change anything in this property. Review and create. Now if you select this user from the same identity, you will find admin test is there and developer test is there, and here is principal name and here is their email ID as well. Can you see? You can copy and clipboard, and what will happen, you are supposed to open a incognito mode. So I'm going to open a incognito mode and going to search for portal.azure and sign in. So now I'm going to provide that admin test. So this would be admin test email ID and click next and provide the password. And this is asking update the password because the first time we are going to update this one. So I'm going to provide this password and create a new one. Sign in. In the same way I'll do for my ask letter, I'm not going to provide anything. Here you can see I just inside a Microsoft Azure. This is admin test. Now what will happen if you are supposed to log in with developer test? So what you'll do, you just go here in the next browser, search for a portal.azure.com and add a user here. This time I'm logging with user developer test and next, and now provide the password. Okay, so I do not require any third-party authentication. Now here you can see this is developer team. Now minimize this one and go back to the main portal. Okay, now if you go back here, you are supposed to create one more user, as we had two new users. So two new users have created this session. We will try to simulate real-time environment, and access data engineer must be aware who can access what. So first user will be workspace admin and second will be developer. Now in Databricks portal, click on manage account and you are supposed to click on user here. So I'm going to here, so I'm going to click on manage account, which is already open here. I'm going to close it. Inside this manage account, from the left top you can see, from the right top you can see user management from left pane. Can you see this is showing user management? Okay, we need to add both workspace admin and developer here. So I'm going to add user here. So first is developer email ID, and let's say this is developer and this would be tester. Okay, add user. Can you see developer tester is already there? Now I'm going to add second one. Go here, users, admin test, copy to test, and go here inside this. If you check this one, this is admin test. So I'm going to name as admin and this would be testing. Okay, so here we had admin testing. Now we had admin testing and developer tester. Okay, so I am going to click this one and going to delete user, confirm delete. Okay, I am having admin Sachin, which is already there. I can delete so that I do not have any ambiguity or confusion. Now I have admin testing and developer tester here. Okay, so if you want to log in, you can create both for this one. So now go back to the next part. Now I want to create a group for these two. First is for admin group, second is for developer group. So here I am going to click on manage account from the top, data portal. So I'm going to click user management from the left pane. Here I can see group option. Now I'm going to create a group. It is already there, so I'm going to delete this group and I'm going to delete this group as well. Now let's create a fresh group here. So let's add group name. So let's first is the admin underscore group. Let's save. Okay, now inside this I want to add members, so I'm going to search for admin. So can you see admin testing is here? So this would be admin testing. So I'm going to add this candidate test user, add. In the same way I'll go here in a group, add group, and this would be developer underscore group. Save it and add members, search for developers. You will find developer tester is there, and just add this user here. Now we had finished till step number 8, where we had added these two members in our respective groups. Now it's time to give permission to Databricks portal. Click on manage account from left top, and this would be primary Databricks portal. So here I can see this is my account from my primary section, and I'm just click in manage account, and it is created neither by workspace admin nor developer. So in order to give permission, click to workspace, click on respective workspace. Here you can see this is workspace created by us. Inside it, permission tab is there. Can you see this permission tab is there? Now add permission is supposed to provide. So for this add permission, we need to add group, which we created in step number 8. So I'm going to create first admin. So admin group assign. So I'm just assigning group, not particular user. So this is admin, and now I'm going to select developer group, not particular individual element. So I'm going to make it user here, and now let's save. So developer group assign permission as user, and admin group assign permission as admin. Okay, now go to the next step. What's the next step here? In step number 10, you log in with portal username and password, and here you can see we need to paste this workspace here. Okay, so what we will do, we will have to copy. Okay, so here I'm just copy home, and I'm going to copy this instance Databricks Sachin and copy this URL, this one. Now go to the first incognito mode. Can you see this is my admin portal, not the main primary portal? So I'm going to paste this URL and hit enter. Now you can see this is asking my Databricks, and I have not created any Databricks instance inside this admin portal. Still we can see this Databricks Sachin. Okay, so here you can see Databricks part is there. Here you can see this is admin part, admin testing, but here if you scroll down you cannot see any management or management setup. Whereas if you go back here in this Databricks, you can see manage account option is showing here. In the same way, you just go to your developer test and paste the same URL, hit enter. You are supposed to access this workspace using your developer team. I'm going to log in with developer test. Can you see, because we had provided the permission to these two users, admin and this one, so this is why this is showing this Databricks. Now here you can see developer tester is there setting, and Databricks Sachin is also there. This is showing the next part. Okay, so till here we had created everything in this step. So what is the step here? If you go back here in this step we had created, if you do not find this Databricks URL, you can come back here in your primary or main portal and just go back here URL and sign in with your portal. Just check that the developer portal we do not have manage account setting. Also in developer portal cannot see any compute resources. So see here you can see if I click on this compute resources, can you see you cannot create anything. Okay, if you can you see you do not have any compute resources here. Okay, when I click on this portal here, click on this compute instances, again you can see this might be some restrictions here because we do not have that permission to create that instances here. Okay, this is step number 10, and we will see others in others part. Okay, till now we had covered step number 10, and what we had done here, we just created two admin, admin and developers, two users we had created, and provide the credentials and permissions for them. Now are supposed to create cluster policies, you just provide the login with admin and move to Databricks portal. This is your 𝐔𝐽 admin. So this might be there. So where is my admin portal? I'm just open my incognito mode. Here I'm just have to go for admin from my 𝐔𝐽. I'm going to search for admin setting. Can you see this is admin setting? Inside this one, from the right top, you will find this admin setting option. I can see identity and access option here. Here I can see some different conditions. These manage users and everything is showing here. So manage from management and permission, this is management and permission tab, and here I can see users. So I'm clicking on this management users and I'm going to see this admin test and developer test. Two users are showing here. Now I'm going to click on this developer part, three dots here, and using this three dots click on entitlements. So can you see this is showing entitlements. Now in Databricks portal, just click on this confirm. This will allow you unrestricted part, right? So this would be your developer, would be your unrestricted. If you go back here, this would, you can create cluster when disabled, when there is restricted to access granted by cluster policies. Okay, so I have to keep it unclusters. So we do not want to have all kind of computer resources in developer part, so we can restrict by using create policy, otherwise it is going to shortwave our bill. So this step is for disable. So I'm going to make this part here again, and this I'm going to check off again, so that we do not have any portion for creating that cluster inside this developer part. Now I can go back here inside this 𝐔𝐽 admin tool. This would be my here. Can you see this would be my admin tool here, right? So here I can see this would be setting, and inside this setting I'm going to click this compute option. Okay, so inside this compute option click on policies. You can see this is the policy option. Can you see this one is policy option? Now inside this policy we have already so many definitions: job compute, legacy, shared, personal compute, powers user, and shared compute. We need to create a policy from the scratch. So for this I'm going to create a policy here and assigning some name. So what is the name here? For example, I'm giving 𝐔𝐽 policy. Okay, so this would be name for my policy. I want to keep this family as custom, and just copy this custom, select any one, personal compute, and selecting custom. So this would be my template to how to define a policy here. You can see this is showing node type ID, and this is showing Spark division, what kind of division I'm just using, run workers, data security, cluster type, what kind of restriction you want to see here. Okay, so I'm going to copy another script here which is defined here. If you scroll down, you will find change the following code. So this code is certainly given by some changes, with some changes here. So I can copy this tool and paste there in my admin portal. Okay, select everything here and paste it here, and just hit enter and just hit enter. Okay, so maybe there is some error, maybe remove that error. Here you can see this is showing correct output and the code is already there, and in this code we can see the following code is correct format. So here what I have changed here, I just changed this node type, which is allowed only standard DSv3 version, and also Spark version is just fixed here, and runtime is also there, and here I can see this is the code given here. So here I can see this is the first part and this is the next value. Now you can create this value, create this policy, or you can edit this one, and here I can go down. If everything looks fine, you will have to assign okay, let's create another policy called C and cancel it out. Compute policies and create policies. So I'm going to add Sachin admin policies. So this would be custom or personal compute. So I'm going to make it custom, and this would be this value. Okay, if you click on this libraries, you won't find anything, and this would be your permission. You can see this permission is what kind of policies you are supposed to assign your developer admin. So can you see this is your admin, and can you see this is your admin group, or I can assign not to the admin group, so I'll have to add developer. So I'm going to assign this to developer group, and they can use this policy. Okay, so they can use, and they cannot create, can use this policy. Okay, there are two options. Can use, so you can use this one and add this group. Okay, and just create. This is such an admin policies. Go back to your policy name, and here you can see Sachin policy and Sachin admin policy is here. I'm going to delete this one because this is no longer used, and this is only existing policy. Okay, now I'm going to create cluster policy pools in Databricks hands-on. Now inside this, jump to the admin Sachin admin. I'm here inside the Sachin admin, and I'm going to click on compute option. Here you can see this is showing pool option. Inside this pool, I'm going to create a pool. I'm going to name as available pool Sachin admin, and this would be minimum idle would be pool will already keep you instances in ready and running state, so that we can use them while creating the cluster, and these will access the resources which are ready available. Also keep in mind that minimum idle is 1 and maximum capacity is 2 here. So now let me make the minimum idle instances to 1 and maximum 2. This means all the time this one instances will be in ready and in running state, and in case if this one instance is used by one cluster, another will be in the idle state, because minimum one will be idle all the time irrespective of the one is attached or not. So in maximum of 2 will be created, so one can be used by cluster, and if that is ready already been occupied, another one will be in idle state. Change this termination time from 120 to 160 to 30. I'm going to 30 minutes to idle state. Okay, and instance type I'm going to keep it standard DS3 v2. Go up, you will find standard DS3 v2, which is having 14 GB memory and 4 core. I'm allowing my developer to use this instance type only. So I'm going to keep it on demand and all spot, not all spot, because sometimes all spot instances are not available. So I'm going to keep it and just create. It will take time. And copy pool ID. Can you see this pool ID is here? I'm going to copy pool ID from here and now go to compute option, go to policies. Inside here I'm searching admin policies here, go to edit option, and I'm scrolling down here. I can see this, it's the instance pool ID. So I do not want to fix this one. I'm going to make it from this forbidden to fixed. So I need that pool ID only. So I'm going to make it fixed, and this hidden is not there. I'm going to make it some value. This is value part, and just on the right hand side I'm just providing that value ID which I copied from there, and just update so that this policy can admit here. Okay, now go to compute tab. Inside this compute tab from admin Databricks, click on pools. Can you see this is available pool such an admin here. So I'm going to select this pool, and available pool is already there, and click on permissions. Can you see this is showing total instances is 1 is pending, maximum capacity is 2 here. This is showing your utility and your scenario. I'm going to click on this permission here. Inside this permission I'm going to select first our developer tool. So I'm going to select this developer. This would be developer, not individual developer. I'm going to select developer group. So I'm going to click can attach to, can manage not, but I'm going to connect with can attach to permission on instance pool. Okay, so click on next, and here you can see this admin testing is what admin testing can manage. Okay, I'm going to add this permission to my developer groups. Whosoever users are there in this developer group, they can attach this policy. Now save this one so that they can use this values. Now next part is in step number 13. Go back here. If you go back here in step number 13, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to create a dev catalog. So in order to create a dev catalog, we are going to create different things. So what I'll have to do, I'll have to go back here in my incognito mode where I am currently at admin's testing portal. Inside this one I'm going to select Databricks portal, go to catalog. Here you can see from the left pane, but I'm going to select this create catalog. I do not have any create catalog option, which is disabled. But if you go back here inside this one, I'm going to create connecting this catalog, which is main primary catalog here. Can you see this is Hive option, and this is like legacy of my meta store. Inside this one you will find this will be there. Okay, okay, so okay, now I'm inside this catalog. So here I can select this one. Okay, so once you will refresh this part so many times, you will find this would be pop up. Here I'm under the main primary Databricks notebook. Inside this catalog you will find this would be external data, and quick response is there. If you click on this catalog option, you will find this create catalog will be there. So inside this create catalog, you are supposed to create a dev catalog here. So I'm going to create this catalog, name it. Okay, let's see, do we have other catalog? Yes, this is previously defines. So now inside this I'm supposed to create a new one. So I'm going to write this as a dev catalog and going to keep standard type as a standard and going to keep this storage location. Click on create. So this cannot, okay, so there might not be any space, and click on create option. So catalog has been created. If you want to view catalog, you can go back here. If you do not want to view, you can close this option. Okay, so what we have done, we had just created this catalog. Now go to step number 14. In this step number, we are supposed to go to this Sachin admin and provide this dev catalog, because in this Sachin portal you cannot see this part. Okay, I'm just inside this catalog. So here you cannot see this one. If you refresh this one, this won't be there. This is there, but this is disabled. You cannot see anything. This is light gray. So I still cannot see this catalog because Sachin admin and comma and this developer both are not having the required privilege or permission to use. So what you are supposed to do, go to main primary catalog option. In this portal, go to account admin, where here we had account admin. I'm under the main portal, neither in admin nor in developer. So inside this, I'm going to click on this catalog. So inside this catalog, click on dev catalog. Okay, so inside this one, I'm going to click here. So then click on permissions and then click on grant permission. Can you see this is asking to grant this permission? This is Unity Catalog UI to grant privilege to such an admin. Okay, so first you want to provide this catalog to admin. So I'm going to provide admin group and then click to grant. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to prerequisite to use catalog, use schema, select for reading and create table option. So this would be, these privileges will be provided to my admin groups. So use catalog and select the privilege presets. Do not check anything here. Click on grant and now go to such an admin grant Databricks portal. You can see that privilege will be there. So I'm currently under the main portal. I'm just switching to my admin portal. Just this one. Yes, can you see this is admin testing? Let's refresh and you will find this dev catalog will be now showing here, which means we had given correct permission to our admin group. To transfer ownership to dev catalog to the main portal here, whose account admin. So just click on this catalog, div catalog. You will find this is your about this one. Okay, this is your admin portal. Okay, still now we had covered this part where we had used this dev catalog in our admin portal. Here you can see this is showing my main portal. If I go back here inside this one also, we can see this dev catalog. Now go to such an admin portal. Dev catalog is showing here. Now inside this admin portal, I'm supposed to create a new notebook. This new notebook will be there, and I'm going to create a catalog SQL query. Okay, so I'm going to suppose this catalog SQL query using this option. So I'm going to connect this one. So for this, you can go here inside this compute option. Inside this compute, you will find some create option with Sachin privilege. This is Sachin privilege option which we had created there. If you go back here, this is single user Sachin testing, and I cannot see anything here. I cannot change anything here. I cannot change any node type. I cannot change any other thing because this is ready-made Spark competition, and this is one driver, Unity values and everything is there. Even I cannot change policy name. If you can change this policy, you can see this is the policy name here. Okay, create compute, and it will be created within seconds because this is ready-made compute. It's not gonna take any time. Go to your workspace, and inside this workspace you can connect your admin testing such an admin policy cluster, which is a ready-made cluster for your workspace given by your admin, okay, or your main portal. Now I'm going to inherit some SQL query. I'm going to import some part here, importing my file where having this one in D9. I'm going to select Unity catalog privileges. I'm going to provide this privileges to my SQL part. Now I'm going to open this a new tab. Here I have certain query from SQL value. Let's grant use catalog to this developer team. So I'm going to copy this one and go back to my query part, and here I'm going to change from default language to SQL. Default language is now changed to SQL. Now here you can see this is dev catalog, but my catalog name is entirely different. Here you can see what's the name here. This is dev catalog without a space, so I'll have to make change. This one is the first change here. You will have to create your catalog name. Now what is the developer name? If you go back here inside this catalog or inside this portal, you can see user management. You will see developer tester is here. Just copy this name. This would be correct name, okay, and go back to your SQL query, and I'm going to paste this group name. This is your group name. Okay, so I'm going to select this part, going to settings. Here I'm going to just opening my main catalog, and here I can see this one would be user management groups. So what is the name of this group? This is developer groups. So I'm going to copy this name, and inside this notebook I'll have to provide that group name. So this would be my developer group, not any individual query. So now run this cell. You can see this is automatically connected, available, most recent compute resource. If everything looks fine and it's going to create that part, it will be showing true or yes format. Okay, so meanwhile I can grant access to another portal. Okay, so this is, there might be some invalid syntax because this is showing Python, this is not there because my default language SQL. I can run this code using SQL. So that was a mistake done from my side, because earlier this was by default language as SQL, and this is, so where we do not have dev catalog, permission denied. Okay, so there might be some permission denied, so I'll have to go back here. Inside this admin testing, I'm going to select collection, dev catalog, and inside this catalog I'll have to go for permissions, and here I can see this is create table, select and everything, and I can create here. Okay, now I can assign some admin group Okay, for this is showing error, I'll have to transfer the ownership here. You can see I'm currently at my main Databricks portal. Neither it is admin nor developer. So here I can see inside this dev catalog, I can see this option is there, edit owner. So inside this I'll have to assign owner to my admin portal. Can you see this is admin testing, and I'm going to assign this admin group. By default it will assign to all the admin groups. So I'm going to save here. So this would be transfer of ownership. So now go back here inside this cognitive mode, refresh this part, and here you will find who is the owner of this catalog. Can you see? Now here you can see this is admin group is the owner of this one. Now here you can run this cell so that this permission denied option will be disabled. You can make sure that this is transformation of your part. Can you see? Now it's showing okay because we had just transferred ownership to our next part portal. Now you can see grant select to this owner to this developer also. I'm going to provide this grant access to my dev catalog. So I'm going to make this dev catalog, and this is the group name. Allow me to copy this group name and paste it here, and list grant access, grant select on catalog to this developer group. Can you see this is also not showing any kind of error? Now I'm going to create this table, and just creating this table here, and inside this table I'm just copying this part and just running this SQL query. When you will run this query, you just go back here in this catalog. By default you will find this table in Hive store because this is default location, and this would be your location default part. Okay, here you can see I just created this person table, but this is derived or defined inside this Hive metastore, which is legacy of my Databricks. So by default this address, if you do not provide your schema name or your location, it will create it in your Hive metastore. So here you can see this is created inside this my location. I'll have to provide this table to this default table catalog. So I'm going to create a new code which is relevant to my dev catalog. So I'm going to make this address, this is schema name, and this is the default because this is the next hierarchy. Here you can see inside this dev catalog this default schema is there. Okay, so dev catalog dot default, and just give this slash curly slash. Okay, and then this person table is here. Let's run this cell. You will find this would be created inside your newly created development environment. Can you see this is showing this part? Now if I refresh this pane, you will find this person is now created. If you look at this person, you can see this is my entire schema, and this is the sample data set, and here we do, as we do not have any records here, so if you want to see details, you can see this is showing the entire details, which is your dive right now. Okay, so now if you want to see others part, you can see others code as well here. Okay, now we had created this person table. Now I am going to create this person table inside the same location. Let's create this code and paste it here. Okay, so this code will be there, and you can see this is having the same location. So I'm going to remove, make it current name, this is the default, and let's run. So this will be person underscore table with these 3 columns. Let's insert something here, and I'm going to insert into, and going back to my code here, paste it here, and going to remove this underscore, which is correct name here. Now go back to your Explorer. Here you can see this person, refresh this pane, you will find this person table is there. Inside this person's, if you find sample data, you will find 3 or 2 records will be there. So here we had 3 records which we inserted here using this code: number of active rows, number of inserted rows. Okay, now you can see this is describe extended this one. If I show this value, it will throw something relevant part. If I define this one, you will can see this is gonna describe your sheet. Can you see this is showing your column name, your how many statistic columns are there, what is the detailed column information, where is the location, where is the table name, when it was created, what is the last access, what is the type, and this is the location here, this is the provider, and this is the who is the owner of this sheet, and where it is managed, what is the table property. Everything is showing here. This is version 1 and version 2 because we had just read this one and then we created inserted something option. So this is gonna show that table property. Let's see what others code we had. If you want to drop this table, you can drop this table as well. Okay, so if you want to show external tables, you can see show external locations. If you run this code, you will find this external location will be there. We do not have any external table here. Let's see what kind of external table we can go here. So for this, I'll have to go here inside this location. Allow me to click here. Click this setting. Inside this setting, inside this catalog, I'll have some. I do not have any external data here. So if you go back here in the main portal, which is my main portal, this is neither admin nor developer. I'll go back here in the refresh part. Inside this external catalog explorer, can you see this is your external part? Can you see this is your external location, but such location is not available in my admin part. So how to enable this one? Let's see here. You can see this is not showing here anything. Such option is not showing neither here not anywhere else. So how to enable this part? Let's go back to our main portal. Here I'm having inside this main portal, I'm just clicking this external location. Inside this external location, I'm just click on credentials. I'm creating a new credential. This is already one credential is already there. You can see this is credential type is manage entity. So I'm going to create a new credentials. So for this, I'm going to create this credential, which is ADLS define 2. Okay, so for this, I'll have to go back here in my ADLS Gen 2. For here, I'm just assigning this role, which is already assigned here using this access control IAM. And now I'm going to create this role here. So for this, I'm going to storage credential. This is storage credential, and click on storage credential name. So inside this credential name, you can see this would be under data store. Okay, so this is credential name. For example, I'm going to write Sachin external location. This would be credential name. So what is the connector access connector ID? You just go back here here, and you can see this is resource ID. You just click here, and I'm going to paste it here. This is my access connector ID. Okay, so you can see this is my access ID, and here inside this access ID, okay, now we are supposed to create this one, such an external location. I'm just okay, so this is not accepting any space. Let's remove this space from this name, credential name. Let's create using this access connector ID. Now here you can see inside this credential, I can see external location as well. Okay, now inside this external location, I'm going to create external location. So in order to create this external location, you will have to provide this name. So I'm going to provide external admin Sachin location. This would be name of my external location. Okay, what is the URL name? So you can see this is showing URL name. So I'll have to copy this URL name and paste it here. As we can see, this is the proper naming nomenclature. Okay, so first I'll define this would be what this would be ABFSS and colon / and container name. What is the container name? This is test, and just write @ and just writing this storage account. What is the storage account name? This is the same name. I'm just copying this name here. Okay, just paste this name here and then just write .dfs. This would be dfs dot core.windows.net/files, because this is my path. So can you see this is showing this access inside this storage? You will find this is the container name, and inside this test container we had this files. So make sure you have provided correct name here. So if I go back here inside this file, you can key advanced option. We do not have anything. Delete, paste this location here. Okay, if you do not want to paste or write this manually, you just go back here inside this one delta storage. You just go to resource, search for endpoint from the left point. Can you see this endpoints are here, and go down, you will find this data lake storage. This is showing your same location, but make sure you are adding this test @ container before this location. Okay, now just create this one. Okay, this is the storage location, and just create this such an external location which we created in step number earlier step. Now let's create, if it is showing certain path, this is overwriting, just create force create. If it is creating that, it will be certain paths there. So maybe some options are there not showing, because this might path not be there and you might not have that option. Can you see now this access is connected successfully, because I had just created another text which was be conflicted. Now I just created another test one here, and using this test one, I'm just creating another inside this newly created test one container. I just add a new directory. This dir is here. If you go back here inside this edit option, you will find this is my test one, and this is my dbfs directory. Okay, now using this one, you can see this is, if you want to see this test connection is okay. Can you see this is showing everything fine, read, write, list, path, exist, everything is all confirmed. So this would be your path where you can perform this operation. Okay, now you can run this notebook here in this part here. Okay, now you can go back here inside this portal and you can run this portal everything. Okay, now you can run something. You go back here and go back this code, and let's convert this code to the SQL to Python. And here I am going to provide this one. Now I'm going to create this Spark. This would be spark.read CSV, and just hitting enter. This would be option is equal to true. So let's create, this would be this CSV format. Inside this hash hashtag. I'm going to convert this as true, this header as true, and I'm going to load this location. What's this location? This location is called, this location is having some kind of files, if it is having. So what is the location? This location is test1, and this location is not files, this is called dir. And let's have some directory here. If it is having any directory, it will upload the directory as well. So I'm going to, inside this directory, I'm going to upload some path here. In order to enable this external location, this is permission denied for create external table. You will have to go back here in your catalog. Here you can see external location is there, and click on this external location. Just go back here inside the permission tab. Click on this grant option. If it is not showing, this is means you are not in admin portal. Now I'm going to show my main portal here. Inside this, I do have this external admission. Inside this overview and permission tab, I can click on this grant permission. I'm going to click this create external table, which is allows me to give ability to create a table using an external location. Therefore you can provide this grant permission. Okay, you will have to make this grant permission to use this admin group. So for this admin group, I'm going to grant permission here. Can you see this will provide condition to create to your particular SQL. Now you are supposed to connect this resources, and inside this resources you are making it confirm, and then you will have to run this code. Thank you for joining this call. Thank you so much. Do not forget to delete everything, every resource, otherwise it will shoot your billing eventually. Thank you.